Welcome back to 5-Minute Bible Study. Worry is such a big problem that Jesus decided to say a lot about it. So let's just move on and continue doing those chunks. So I didn't totally complete all the verses we were talking about yesterday, so I'm going to try and finish them up today. Who of you, by worrying, can add a single hour to his life? And why do you worry about clothes? See how the lilies of the field grow. They do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you that not even Solomon in all of his splendor was dressed like one of these. Let's stop there. So the next thing that I had written down that day was, does worrying bring you a loaf of bread? Like if you're worried about eating and about having food and having money in the bank to supply it, if you deliberately sat down and worried about it, would you get a loaf of bread? You wouldn't. It doesn't do anything for you. At the same time, just laying awake at night, analyzing something, does it bring me the peace that I'm seeking? Does it stop the worrying that doesn't bring me peace, laying at night overthinking things? Food and clothes are trivial, and I feel like I have to hit myself over the head with a hammer over and over with this day after day, hour after hour, so that I don't forget that food and clothes are trivial and they don't matter. Because if I think they matter, then I'm going to be distracted. Because even I wrote here, do my panic attacks solve the problems that I'm having? Like if food and clothing are trivial, but I am aching for peace and contentment and hope, do my panic attacks help bring that about? Do my panic attacks bring me hope and peace? Because I don't think they do. They just leave me feeling more stressed and I create more what ifs in my head. It doesn't help, but I need to remember that a life with God is all that matters, and actually how God feels about me is all that matters. And I don't need to do anything to impress God. He's impressed with me naked and natural with no frou-frous because he made me and he doesn't need any extras to make me beautiful. A life lived for God and a life lived for eternity is all that matters, and none of my overanalyzing or playing out the what ifs in my head, none of it helps me to live for God or live for the eternity he's promised, or to live in peace. And so why I keep doing these things, it doesn't matter. And I think that's why we need to have these reminders. Even sometimes I have notes stuck up around the house because you can get totally sidetracked. And then I love when he says about the lilies. Why do you worry about covering your body, your physical body, with beautiful things? Like, why is this such a concern? Why does this take up so much of your money and your thought and your time? Lilies grow and are naturally beautiful because God made them that way. They don't have to change or shift with the changing fashion trends or the definitions of beauty that I'm always chasing or other people are always chasing. They're beautiful as is, and they always will be. A lily today looks the same as a lily 1,000 years ago, and people today still think it's beautiful as the first day it was made. And I love when he talks about Solomon. It says Solomon ran around for the best. He wanted the best of everything, and he found it. And he got it. He had the money to do it. He literally had the best of everything in the world. And even someone like that who could get all of that, he still would never be as beautiful as a lily designed by God. And it's actually true if you think about it. When you look at a flower, knowing it's natural and it's grown that way, it's not purchased or altered or tweaked or whatever. It just was that way from the beginning. That is way more awe-inspiring than someone who found a nice piece of clothing And if that's how God designs the lilies to be, which are soulless flowers, no soul, no eternity, won't he make sure that we are beautiful, that we who have a soul and we have eternity on the line, he will make us beautiful. Not with all that the world has to offer, but with all he has to offer. And in the end, that's the only stuff with peace. It really is the only thing that brings peace. There's nothing you can find in the world that will be permanently peaceful.